Hi, Instagram. You want to say hi? Got Easton. I got both my kids home today. Normally on Thursdays, I do these Thursday lives. Normally when no kids are in the house. Usually he's got preschool. My daughter has school, but there's no school right now, as probably a lot of you know. So, and I'm just getting over a cold, so I'm a little sleepy, a little kind of in that mellow zone. So I was hoping I kind of set up a show in the room, and as soon as this turns on, of course, the kids come out. Probably going to ask for snacks about 10 times in this next half hour, which is pretty much mom life. But we'll see how it goes. I had lots of stuff that I want to talk to you guys today about. Again, today is going to be like a couple weeks ago. I just kind of talked about kind of lifestyle things, kind of what's on my mind, goals that I'm working on right now. So I'm going to dive a little bit more into that. I've been chatting with some moms. One was just a couple days ago, but I hear this same thing quite often. Like in the last few months, I've heard it so often that I am struggling. Like I want to make this change, but I'm just like struggling to do it. I'm struggling to find the time. I'm just like struggling to stick with it. So we're going to talk about that a little bit, what works for me, things like that. So I wrote down some notes. Actually, first I'm going to share this. I'll just take 1 minute. See if we're working. Looks like we're working. Say hi if you're on.
Oh, hi.
I'd love to know. And again, like these Thursday lives, I want it to be just like a casual, just kind of a chat. I try not to plan it out too much. Okay, so I'm going to share this to the community.
Let me see, this goes on him. It's for him to go around. Hi, Joe. Nobody's him. He's not.
Hey guys, can you go play in the room for a little bit while mommy's doing this? Or you want to play here nice for a bit? Okay, we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got it shared. So today I want to talk about, I wrote down, so first I'll talk a little bit about goals that I'm currently working on, because I know a lot of us have kind of the same similar goals. A lot of us are moms with young kids. So I'll talk about that, my struggles, what I'm focusing on. Then I'll talk about, like I mentioned just a minute ago, where to start if you're struggling to make a change. You want to, a lot of us, it's we want to maybe eat healthier, we want to feel better, we want to lose weight, but just nothing seems to work. Life is too busy. It's so hard to make those changes. So we're going to talk a bit about that after that, and also the ripple effect. So excuse my voice, just getting over a cold. Next thing I want to talk about is what I'm trying out right now and how it's going. So this is, I'm such an open book. I'm kind of a guinea pig as well. So I wanted to try out something different. I was going to make notes, not really talk about it. And then if I loved it, I was going to share it with you guys. But I'm such an open book that I want to, talk about that a little bit right now, what I'm doing. So yeah, thought I'd chat about that. And then if we have time, I'm going to try to keep this to about 30 minutes. I'll talk a little bit about my mornings. I talk about that lots on Insta stories. I share about my mornings and how that's been so huge for me. So if I have time, I'll chat a little bit about that. So you can hear stuff in the background. That's my kids playing away right there. As long as they're not fighting, as long as they're not asking for snacks, we're good. So also I'm going to just do a little note, a little reminder. If you are in the membership, I've had people in the past, and one mom I just talked to, I ran into her about a week ago. And if you're in the membership, I want you to make sure you know that there's an entire membership platform. So you log into it and you have access to everything. So some people join and they don't realize that that it's not just, I also send out my weekly new meal plans every week via email. So some moms think that is what the membership is. There's, if that's all you've found so far, there's a whole nother world of clean eating. So over 50 meal plans. We have monthly focuses, so you can look back at past videos. There is featured ebooks, like game day favorites. We just had our Valentine's treats. There's smoothie ebooks. So there's there's everything you need to help keep you on track. So I just wanted to make sure if anybody's in the membership and you don't realize that you can log in and have access to everything, that's what the membership is. So I wondered if there was other moms that were missing out on that. So I just wanted to mention that on there. Any trouble logging in or anything, just send me a message and I'll get you all set up. So, another thing I wanted to ask while I'm thinking about it, content for future Facebook Lives and for videos. I want to get more into doing some more videos for you guys, more lives as well, so every Thursday. So I'm curious what you guys want to see for that, but then also videos that I put together. So I'm thinking things like what my morning looks like, so kind of capturing that in a short 3-minute video. Another idea is maybe like, what do you want to know, sort of like what I eat in a day, just like quick simple things, what my day looks like, maybe a tour of my pantry, what I keep it stocked with, how I keep it organized. So if you have anything, post that in the comments or send me a message what you'd like to see. So with all that said, let's get started with take a sip of coffee. Say hi if you're on. I love to know who's on. I love to know I'm not just talking to myself. Also, is anybody getting over a cold? My kids just had it. I've had it for close to a week. They can't see you. You want to come here and say hi? So this is Easton. This is my youngest. Oh, there's Ashton. So Ashton is 6, almost 7. This is Easton. He's 3, just over 3. So, yeah, we've got the day home with them, which I'm sure a lot of you guys do. Home with your kids. Okay, so can you guys, it's hard to focus. Can you guys go play in your room for a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks guys. All right, so goals I wanted to talk about, goals that I'm currently working on. So I kind of feel like I am, and I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, sort of feel like I'm in a transition stage with my kids. My youngest is over 3 now, and for so long I've been in that stage where I've got babies and I'm holding babies. One little thing is that I'm wearing jewelry again. So it's been like 6 years I've had taken care of babies so much. You don't, well, at least for me, don't wear necklaces. I don't wear jewelry because it's just going to get pulled on. So I feel like I'm transitioning a little bit out of being that. Well, I'm still, I guess my first job is being a mom, but to get back to myself a little bit. But anyways, so I'm kind of in that stage where I want to reach for some new goals. So a couple things, which this is something that I kind of often try out, is just like focusing on my water intake. So right now I'm trying to drink 2 liters of water per day, especially with this cold, trying to flush that out. But for everybody, a 2 liters per water is a pretty good goal. They say half your body weight in ounces of water per day. So I think for me, that's about 2 liters. That seems to be a nice amount. So I'll actually I mentioned this the other time, but just mention it again. A 2-liter glass jug. Every morning I fill that up, have it on my counter, and that's a really good way to get myself to drink that water, to know how much I'm drinking. So that's something that I've kind of haven't been real great with. So I have to make it a focus. If you're that way too, to get back into a habit, you have to make it a really conscious focus for a while. So that's one of my goals right now. Getting back to regular workouts is another one. I was doing so good and then caught this cold. So then I gave myself about a week to kind of relax with it. But I notice with myself that I'll kind of let that be my excuse for way too long. So even like right now, if I've got a bit of energy, not to do an intense workout, but to do something, even if that's to put on some music, dance with my kids. So especially once I'm back to feeling good, to get in those. And I try to do almost every day just a short 15-minute, at least up to 30-minute workout. If I say I'm going to do it like 3 to 4 times a week, like a good hour-long workout, then I'm more likely to not have it as a habit. But if it's an everyday thing, it's like, okay, when did I sort of get a bit of a sweat on? Then I find that's a lot better to make it a habit. With my workouts, I've had some people ask, what's your favorite workouts right now? I used to love all of the Tone It Up workouts that were free on YouTube. There's a lot of like 15-minute ones, just quick ones, but you get like a really good sweat on. And I love it that they're on the beach. You know, you can pretend you're on the beach somewhat. So I still love the Tone It Up girls. I did just try out I think it was a 15-day free trial of the Beachbody On Demand. So I've tried that out. I think I'm just finishing that up. So I haven't worked out in like the last week, so didn't really get a real good shot of the workouts. I tried out a few of them. It's good. I'm not sure if I love it or not, so I've canceled that membership. And then next I want to try out, there's a Tone It Up app. So Tone It Up, like I just mentioned, they have an app now. I don't know if that's somebody crying or if they're playing. There's a Tone It Up app, so I'm going to try that out. They have a free trial as well. I'm not sure if it's a 7-day. So that was my intention. I was going to try them both out and then pick after which is my favorite, unless you guys have suggestions on other ones that are great. That's kind of what I'm going to do. One thing I noticed too, if you pay for something versus getting it for free, you're more likely to stick with it as well. Just like a gym membership, you know, like you've got a gym, especially in the summer. You can get the best workout in at no cost. You just go outside, take a run, take a walk, do push-ups, do sit-ups. But if you buy a gym membership, if you're paying $30, $40, $50 a month, then you're probably a lot more likely to work out. But for me, I don't want to, it's a whole ordeal for me to put on workout clothes, warm up the car, drive to the gym. So I love just working out in the comfort of my house. So yeah, I'm going to pick one of those workout apps and then go with that. Other ideas with workouts. So days like today, maybe where I don't have a ton of energy, but I want to you want to sit with mommy? Somebody had a fight with his sister, where I want to make sure I get in a little bit of some movement, a little bit of a sweat. We'll put on music. We like music, hey? Put on some music and do sort of like a dance party, just kind of jump around, dance around. You can also add in some squats. Maybe you can run up and down your stairs, throw in some push-ups and sit-ups. You can get some free weights out and just kind of like, especially if it's with the kids, you're multitasking, you're hanging out with the kids, plus you're getting a workout in. Do you see yourself? So that's something else I love to do. So water, getting enough water in per day, getting in some exercise. Those are a couple things. I've been really good with my diet the past like 6 years, but especially exercise. You know what? When I find when you have a little baby, which I don't anymore, sometimes that's a workout, especially if you have a fussy baby. So I didn't worry about it too much then, but need to get back to that. Decluttering. Okay, just leave it if you don't want it. Decluttering my house has been something I've been working on. I talked about this the other week, so I won't talk about it too much. So that's something that kind of drains me. If everything is a mess and it's cluttered, so that's been a priority. Another goal I'm working on is getting to bed earlier, because I want to wake up earlier and have time to myself. Ideally, at least an hour to myself in the morning before the kids wake up. I find that's huge, and I talk about that a lot because it is so huge. I'm curious if anybody else is doing that. I know if you're pregnant or if you have a little baby, then that's not the time to worry about that. I remember with Easton, I started the morning thing when Ashton was about 2, so she was already sleeping really well. But when I was pregnant with Easton, I think when I was feeling okay, I would do my morning thing. But when I was tired and also when he was a baby, I just didn't worry about that. So that's something, depending on what stage of life you're in, it can be really helpful, but don't stress about it if you're not getting good sleep. That's the most important thing, is to get good sleep. So waking up earlier is my main goal. But in order to do that, I need to get to bed earlier. And today, well, actually, I never set my alarm. As long as I get to bed early enough, I naturally wake up early. So I love it if I just naturally wake up at like 5:30. It's taken a while to get to that stage. Today I woke up at 6:30, which is like sleeping in. I still had half an hour to myself. My little guy woke up at 7, which was nice. But I find having that hour is so good. So if you're wanting to try this, getting up earlier, I would recommend probably in the beginning you might want to set your alarm. But I find the worst thing is when you are waking up to an alarm clock, you are just not ready to wake up. You're not at that sleep stage. And I don't want you to wake up to feeling like sort of in a negative mindset, like, oh, I need to get up, but I just want to sleep. So if you can just mainly focus on getting to bed early enough. Skip the Netflix, skip scrolling Facebook for hours in the evening, and just get to bed. Like, put your kids to bed, get to bed, maybe read a book for a bit and get to bed early. I find that there's such a big difference in that. Like, I don't get a whole lot out of Netflix. Maybe occasionally sit and watch Netflix with my husband, but for the most part, I get so much more out of getting to bed early, getting a good sleep, and naturally waking up early. And we're so much more inspired. What we do early morning hours versus what we do at like 10 o'clock is a whole lot different in terms of our productivity, our mindset, and all that, what we eat. So that's a big game changer. Okay, so next I wanted to talk about, so those were kind of the goals that I'm working on right now. I'm curious if anybody is kind of in the same spot. It seems like a lot of us are kind of have similar goals. So the next thing is take a sip. So I hear so often people say, like, I'm so busy, like I want to do better, I want to eat better, I want to make these changes, so busy, or like I'm just in such a rut. So where to start? First of all, if you're too busy, I know that there's moms that are just like so crazy busy, and I don't want that for you. Like, it's so exhausting. It's not good for your health. It's not good for anything. In some situations, you just have no choice, and that's maybe a season of your life. But I think in a lot of situations, you can take a step back. You can look at what can I edit? What can I get rid of? You might have to jot down your day, what you do in a day or in a week, and figure out what you can remove. I was chatting with one mom, and she's working. She's so busy, and I wanted to like try to help her. I wanted to take some stuff off her plate for her. So I was trying to give some suggestions, and she's working overtime as well. And it's like I don't know what her work situation is and things like that, but it's like if you can maybe talk to your boss, maybe this isn't possible, but like if you can make your time yourself a priority and maybe not work so much overtime. You know, you've got kids that are in sports, you know, it's just you've got health issues, so make that is so important. Slowing down, having time for yourself, not always feeling like you're just treading water or you're drowning, you know. It's so try to make that a priority. If you're busy, if you're on the go all the time. It's different if you love, you know, being busy on the go. I'm a homebody. I love being at home, so I'm kind of the opposite. But yeah, look at your schedule, see where you can ask for help, see what you can cut out. My kids we don't put them in too much sports. They're still young, so maybe we're gonna be at that stage at some point where there's hockey 3 times a week, and that's gonna be tricky. But we're gonna, like, even this year with Ashton, we didn't put her in anything in the winter. She's starting kindergarten this year, and that was full time. We thought that's gonna be enough. We do play dates a little bit. She's gonna be in swimming, and she's gonna be in soccer, which those aren't as much of a time commitment, but we could have put her in dance, we could have put her in gymnastics. And if you do this with your kids, I'm not slamming it or anything, because there are some amazing things about that, but for me it's I'm a much more relaxed mom. I love being home. There's a lot my daughter can get out of just being home too, especially after a busy day at school. That can be beneficial as well. So especially if you're finding you're exhausted, then if you can cut out, maybe put them in just one program. Like I said, I know hockey, if your kids are in hockey, I know it's crazy. It's like 3 times a week, which is a lot. No wonder most of the NHL players come from Manitoba. They play so much hockey, but so yeah, just look at your schedule. Where can you find time? Even if that's back to the morning thing. If you try to wind down and watch Netflix at night, and then you go to bed at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock, and then the next morning you are just like scrambling with everything, you're just kind of behind with everything, then I'd recommend trying to cut out that Netflix and have your time in the morning. You'll feel a lot more rested, I think, with having that time in the morning. So that's where to start. Check your calendar, see where you can find time for yourself, just to like calm down a little bit. Moms are so busy nowadays. Somebody's crying. Okay, the next thing is I want to talk about the ripple effect. So you want to make changes. It seems so overwhelming. There's so much to do. Start with one thing and you'll see a ripple effect occur. So there's a few different examples of this. One with me was I kind of had this sort of like urge to make these changes. I was wanting to make some different changes, and I was feeling sort of overwhelmed with stuff, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna start with my focus is gonna be decluttering. So I mentioned already, if like with toys everywhere, with my closet's a mess. I wear the same like 2 pieces of clothing because those are my go-tos because my closet's such a mess. I've got lots of stuff, but it's just jam-packed. So that was my focus, was just decluttering. I wasn't concerned with meal prepping and meal planning. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna declutter, see what I can donate, what I can get rid of. So that really helped, and that sort of started a ripple effect. Stuff like that for me, if I organize something, it looks really dark on there, but I think it's okay. Like if my living room is a complete mess, there's toys everywhere, I don't like it, I don't like my space. If I declutter, if I tidy it up, sometimes if I reorganize furniture or rearrange furniture, then it provides energy. So do you guys notice that there's certain things you do and it's like, okay, now I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So figure out what that is. What is it that drains you? What is it that provides you energy? Clutter drains me. Having things just so organized provides me energy. And then I'm like, okay, I want to do this. So that was, for me, that was where one of my sort of a ripple effect occurred. So look at that for you. So pick one thing to start with, focus on that. That's where to start. It could be the 2 liters of water per day. Start with that for a week. Maybe even that's your focus for the month. Start with that. You'll notice if you are drinking water, it makes you feel good about yourself. You're doing good with that goal. Then you might start wanting to exercise a little bit, or maybe you want to start chopping up some veggies and having fruit and veggies fresh in your fridge. So that's sort of where the ripple effect occurs. When you say you start exercising, then you want to start eating healthy. Have you ever noticed you do a workout and it's like maybe before the workout you were thinking you were going to have like fries and chicken fingers for supper? You do your workout and it's like, I want to have like a nice fresh salad, or a smoothie or something. So just kind of roll with that. Start with one thing. Don't look at the big picture, the overwhelming picture of it. Start with one thing. I feel like I'm spitting. I hope you guys don't see that. With the light shining in, I can see. Okay. So that feeling of accomplishment that you get from that, Jalen says, it's so bright here I can barely see. So Jalen says, yes, I've been for a bit now and I find it hard to get back on track. So yeah, so common. So just focus on one thing if you can. If you are, like I said, if you're finding you're so busy, look at your schedule, see where you can. Too bright, why don't you go somewhere else? So yeah, hopefully one of these things, just start with one little thing and then see if that'll provide sort of a ripple effect. The morning thing is huge. I've talked about that a lot. So hopefully that would help you. So that accomplishment of accomplishing the one thing will provide motivation and energy, and that'll give you that ripple effect. So Just quiet, Easton, okay, for a few minutes. Think about what drains you and think about what provides you energy. So to figure out where to start. So for me, like I said, that's decluttering. I'm just reading my notes a little bit. You guys can just see feet and butt. Let's see. Okay, I'll try to speed it up. I want to try to keep these at about 30 minutes. For me, decluttering had the ripple effect. I decluttered my closet, then I did my pantry, then I got rid of lots of toys. Some of them I stored away. So I feel so much better. Then that led to, or actually at the same point, I was working on my water intake goal. That led to wanting to work out. That led to, so this is my ripple effect. Cleaning up my closet led to me wanting to wear cuter clothes. I started looking at Pinterest pictures, at clothes pictures, started bringing my jewelry back out. This I just found at the thrift store actually. So wearing jewelry again, so wanting to wear cuter clothes again. It even led to, this maybe sounds ridiculous, but like, I don't know if you guys are like me, moms in the winter, shaving your legs is not every few days, every week is not a huge priority, but it's like, I feel like I'm kind of put together now. I feel like my closet's cleaned out. It's like, even if it's only for me, like I'm going to shave my legs, I'm going to do my nails in the winter. Normally it doesn't matter. So it's kind of like, why do we want to make our ensuite bathroom or our master bedroom nice? It's not for anybody else. It's just for ourselves because it makes us feel good. So it's kind of led to that as well. It's led to me wanting to continue to declutter. Now I've got a bag in the corner in my room, and anytime I see something that we can get rid of, I throw in that bag, and then like once a week, once every 2 weeks, I'm going to take that bag to MCC. It's led to me, so I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling I've got my shit together. So it's led to me remembering to take my probiotics and my vitamins again, like just kind of feeling organized with all of it. It's led to me having a cleaner kitchen and wanting to keep it clean. There's something that Ange from Whole Fit has been talking about, and what does she call it? She says, what is it? Saying goodnight to your kitchen. So, and she shares images, and there's a whole bunch of people share their image of their kitchen that's just like perfectly clean before they go to bed, before you turn the lights out. Don't go to bed with a dirty kitchen with dishes on the counter, with clutter on the counter, even if it's clean dishes drying. So this is something I've been doing. Have your kitchen, your counters just clean, so that's a fresh start for the morning. So it's just sort of like a mindset thing. Like it's not a big deal to have a few dishes on your counter, but it's a mindset thing when you wake up and you've got that kitchen just so nice and clean. Same thing with making the bed in the morning. I've been doing that more often too. Whereas before, when I was feeling overwhelmed and just everything's a mess, I didn't worry about making the bed. But if you make the bed, spend 1 minute making the bed in the morning, then it just gives you it's a small win for that day. You feel so much better. You feel so much more put together. Anytime you walk into that room, it just, it feels a lot better. It's just such small things. So yeah, the clean kitchen thing. And then even that led to, so I'm working on getting up early, having a good morning routine. That led to, instead of in the morning cleaning out my coffee pot, getting my coffee ready to go, the night before, I am setting my coffee. I'm setting the coffee timer so that it's ready to go. That also helps me to set the intention of getting up early. So if I have my coffee pot set for 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, it's all ready to go, then you set that intention that you're getting up that early. Then I find I naturally will wake up earlier if that's my plan. Have you ever done that where maybe you have to go to work at a certain time or something, and you wake up like 5 minutes before the alarm or 1 minute before the alarm? So set the intention the night before. So that's kind of the ripple effect that I have seen with just kind of starting with one thing. For me, that was the decluttering, drinking more water. Some other ideas too, if you are sort of stuck and you're not sure where to start. Other ideas I have here. I'm getting lots of hugs. You're kind of choking me though. Okay. Sorry, you guys are. I can barely talk right now, but okay, a second. So the other ideas. Okay, Mister. The other ideas are getting systems in place. So meal planning and meal prepping is huge if you're focusing. Hey, Easton, can you scooch out of the way? You can sit beside mommy if you want. Other systems are Superstore Click and Collect, especially if you're a mom that is just struggling with time. So figure out how you can streamline things, how you can put some systems in place. And the best time to figure all this stuff out is waking up early and having that morning time to yourself, journaling things. I'm not sure if I want to dive in. We're almost at our 30 minutes. I was going to dive into my mornings. This sort of leads into my morning, so I'll mention it a little bit. My morning routine. I've talked about this a bit before, but so we need that time to just kind of like decompress. Just to our days, especially as moms, it's just go, 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 go. We don't have time to just sit and think. We're reacting. So having that time in the morning is a chance to sort of journal things, just have a plan to write things out. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but it's so important to have that time, especially if you want to make a change. If you want to get out of your routine that you're in right now, we need to stop and take a step back, and getting up early to have that time to yourself is when those changes happen. So I'll just talk about it for about 2 minutes, the morning thing. Get to bed earlier is the most important part. You need to get a lot of sleep, is the most important thing to your health, and that's actually one of the reasons why I caught this cold. I can't remember why, but I had like 4 hours of sleep, and that seems to be it for me. If I have a night or two of like no sleep, it's like my immune system is just shot, and I'm going to catch whatever is going around. So most important thing. Then you want to try to wake up naturally. Work, even if that's just 15 minutes, going to bed 15 minutes earlier, getting up 15 minutes earlier for a week, and then just slowly shift that. It's worth it to work towards that. So in the mornings, especially if you're just getting started, some things that I like to do is to take 5 minutes and do a gratitude journal. I talked about this before, but it's important. Write down what you're grateful for. Changes your mindset completely. Another idea, especially if you are in a state where you are wanting to make a change, this is something I just did. So in January, I talk about vision boards, and I usually do a vision board in January, but I was kind of in that state where I had some new goals I wanted to reach. So I spent some time. I just kind of like had some quiet time. I'm kind of in a quieter season right now, so I had time to just like scroll Pinterest during the day, saved pictures that are inspiring to me, and then one of the mornings I put it together into a vision board. So that's something you can do with your morning, and that will really help with your motivation and to know what you want, and it'll help you to reach towards that. Another idea is morning pages. This is really good if you are sort of struggling with something, if something is kind of running through your mind, if that's maybe if you're frustrated with your husband about something, if you are frustrated with work, if there's something that's just kind of like bothering you, morning pages is taking a notebook second, and just starting to write. And if I'm ever in this state, and I don't really know what I'm going to write about, you just kind of start writing, and then it just kind of starts to flow, and it's like a therapy session. It's almost like, it's kind of like venting in a way. So write it out, and just, if you need to shred it after, sometimes you write stuff down and it's like, I don't want anybody to read this. Shred it after if you need to. Just get it out. That can really help, especially if you're going through something. Other ideas are like a brain dump. So this is really good if you have so much going on, and especially if you're just so busy, do a brain dump. Write down just everything that you have to do, everything that's going on. And then there's some different stages that I won't go into right now with that, because that can take a little while. You can kind of focus on, okay, what can I cross out? What can I get rid of? What can I ask for help? What's the most important thing? So you can sort of make, I think generally people do like the 4 squares, but just to keep it simple, make a new list after that. Put what your most important things are, what your top priorities are, what can be crossed out, what you can just completely get rid of, what you can hand off to somebody else. So that can help. If you have some goals, a web diagram is good. I'm starting to lose my voice even more. I think it's called a web diagram or like a bubble thing. And I sometimes do this at the start of the year where it'll be like 2019 or even at the start of a month. I'll put like March. And then, do you guys know what I'm talking about with the web diagram? So March, and then it'll be like, okay, healthy body. So then from healthy body, you put exercise, you put water, you put, so you kind of have it branched out, and then you kind of put, so you break it down from there. You say, okay, I'm going to drink 2 liters of water a day. Here I'm going to, for the exercise branch, I'm going to do minimum 15-minute workout every day. So that's another idea. And again, we need that morning time generally with no distractions from kids, time for ourselves. So these are just some ideas of things that I do with that morning time that makes such an impact. Other things are reading. If you like to read, if you don't love reading, then an audiobook or podcast or just whatever is going to help you get inspired. Maybe that's YouTube videos. Right now I'm loving Rachel Hollis. I love Ange Peters of Whole Fit. I love the Tone It Up girls. Whoever is inspiring to you, maybe that's Tony Robbins. So spend some time just sort of like filling yourself with inspiration. Another thing I wanted to point, I think this is my last point, if you're in a state where you want to change, one thing I've done before and one thing I recommend is look at what is coming at you on a daily basis. So that might be, a lot of it might be social media. Nowadays, so much of our interactions are on social media. Could be maybe your family or your friends, the people you're interacting with. Could be your husband. So look at that and see, if you're wanting more happiness, more positivity, you want you want to reach some goals, look at what's coming at you. If it's people sharing a lot of really negative Facebook posts or like a lot of negativity, then I will you can do it where you don't see their stuff as much. I can't remember how to do that, but you can sort of edit your Facebook feed so to what you're seeing. Then I've gone in spurts where then I'll follow a lot more people like Rachel Hollis, anybody that's adding to your life in a positive way. Have a lot more of that come into you. Try to view a lot less of the negativity. So for me, I watch the news a lot less. I used to watch like the lunchtime news, the evening news. I'd have CBC or CTV in my news feed. But you're just seeing a lot of negativity. Sometimes it's important to know what's going on. And if it's important enough, usually you'll know, your friends will post or share about it. If it's not important enough, there's a lot of negative stuff it does me no good to know that that's happening. So things like that's an example. So curate your Facebook feed and whatever else you can in your life. If you've got a toxic friend, then I know it's tough, but maybe spend a little bit less time with them if you can. If you've got a friend that is uplifting you, you feel good, try to spend more time with them. So make that a focus as well. So I kind of covered a lot of different areas, but hopefully that helped. I'm not real sure what I'm going to talk about next week. I'd love to know if you guys have any ideas what you want to see. If you want me to get back to some more recipes, maybe some meal prep, snack preps, maybe I'll get back into that. So let me know. I hope this helped, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to drink some water, get some rest, try to get over this cold, and yeah, that's about it. Okay, bye. Bye, guys.